Hello and welcome to part 3 of my PS2 collection, and we're really starting to get into the classics here with some of my favourite games on the PS2, and this next game is no exception. In fact, it's probably one of my favourite games of all time, and that is Dark Chronicle. I absolutely adore this game with my whole soul. um, for those who live in North America, this is also known as Dark Cloud 2. And yeah, I just love the look of this game. It's just beautiful, cel shaded, a real time RPG combat. If It's actually created by Level 5, who you're probably familiar with, Nino Kuni on the PS3, which is number one of their games, and also what was that other one? Rogue Galaxy, yeah. Which I have not played, but I'm very interested in picking up one day. But yeah, Dark Chronicle, aka Dark Cloud 2, one of my favourite games ever. And if you have not played this, please pick it up if you can. It's just so good. Next up, we have Okami. Another very good game. I haven't played a lot of this, unfortunately. I know, like, people already are going to be like, "Oh, how could you?" But I don't. I think it's just the fact you have to fight against the same bosses more than once, which is what's putting me off. And it's just like when you have to fight a boss for like more than one time, it's just like, oh, come on. It's just so lazy. But other than that, it's a fantastic looking game, obviously, and yeah, very unique art style and combat. And yeah, you should definitely check it out. I believe it's also on PSN right now on the PS3, so there's no excuse for you not to check it out. Next up, we have God of War. This whole fucking sticker residue. Fuck you. Hate that. And yeah, it's absolutely superb action adventure game. I was able to. I didn't really like the puzzles that much. It sort of really slowed the game down. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was good for variety, but the fact that you just sort of go through all these like action sequences, and all of a sudden you get to a puzzle and just like everything just grinds to a halt. But yeah, the game is very well made, barring one. There's one section where you're in hell and you have to climb this like giant wall with like spikes. I call it the wall of bullshit because you hit one thing and you die, or you get like knocked back down, and it's really fucking frustrating. And also the final boss, which is so cheap at times, but yeah. Other than that, it's a really good game. Not the greatest action game ever made, but it's a great ride while you play it. And also we have God of War 2. I've never managed to get around to finishing this game. I think because there's not really a whole lot of change to this one compared to the first one, and yeah, I don't know. I just sort of got kind of bored of it personally. Don't get me wrong, it's a really good game, but yeah, I might get back to finishing it one day. And this is definitely one of my favourites, and not many people talk about it, which is a damn fucking shame. And that is Psy Ops, the Mindgate conspiracy. And this, I'm gonna say this. I don't care if you disagree or not. This is better than both Star Wars Force Unleashed games combined, and I stand by that sentence. And yeah, it's kind of interesting because it's got all these like psychic techniques, revolved around a sort of, if it didn't have these, it would be like a sort of solid third person shooter, really. But all the psychic powers that you see here, like the telekinesis and pyrokinesis, and the you also get a mind drain, which you can restore your psychic meter, and also you can like control like soldiers and just like make them jump off a cliff and stuff like that. And I just think that's absolutely hilarious. And Psy surfing as well. You get like a concrete slab, and you can just like use your telekinesis, just like float up in the air. It's so cool. And yeah, brilliant game. If you never play this, please, if you find it anywhere, pick it up, because it's just so worth playing. So much fun. Next up, we have the start of a very popular series, and yeah, I completely understand why it's so popular. I know when this came out, like, it kind of changed the way the industry worked at the time, and that's GTA 3. Yeah, just oh, it's amazing looking back how much impact this game had at the time, and yeah, just a fantastic sandbox adventure game. Yeah, GTA gets a bit of flack for the whole like violence thing and things like that, but at the end you had a choice on how violent it could be, and yeah, there was a certain moral compass to it, unlike the Manhunt games, which I'll get to later. But yeah, not my favourite GTA, because some of the missions near the end were just an absolute pain in the arse. But yeah, still so much fun, even to this day. Now this one is my favourite GTA, and that is GTA Vice City. Just the whole sort of style to it, and the music, of course, which is infamous for being just a fantastic selection of songs. It's just being able to use like things like bikes for the first time, melee weapons such as katanas and chainsaws, and all the sort of like 80s references and things like that. It's just and the voice cast as well, and like all the famous actors like Ray Liotta and Dennis Hopper and people like that. Just fantastic game. The only thing I hated was having to build up money to do like the later missions at the end, but other than that, it's just, for me, it's like the almost near perfect game. And next up, we have the next game in the series, and that is GTA San Andreas. Another fantastic game. I never liked CJ that much, to be honest. I just thought he was just a generic black guy, really, and I think that's I have a theory in how this is the only game where you can actually change the look of your character. It's because CJ is such a boring character that they would have to put in there to make him interesting. But yeah, it was a really good game though. A lot of the missions were very memorable, like the Area 51 mission in particular, where you get the jetpack. That was a classic one. But yeah, really a decent soundtrack again as well. Not as good as Vice City's, but yeah, a great selection of tracks like Cold Personality and what were the other ones? I can't remember, but yeah, there was really good ones. That once you hear them, you just feel like, oh yeah, this is awesome. Oh yeah, Welcome to the Jungle. How could I forget that one? That was like in the fucking advert. But yeah, fantastic game. In my opinion, not as good as Vice City, but still great. Next up, we have one of the spin-offs, and that's Liberty City Stories. This was one that I played on the PSP when I owned the PSP, and yeah, it was pretty good, you know, for a PSP game. And they ported it to the PS2. They didn't really do much, which was a shame because like they sort of mapped the controls, like they just like copied and pasted them to like the PS2, and they didn't really change much. Like the manual aiming was like a nightmare because it was like you had to use like the inverted controls, and I hate inverted controls. So yeah, that was a bit of a pain. But I finally managed to beat it at last, which I got to the last level on the PSP and the PSP version, and never beat it. But I managed to do it on this one. And fine, this is the only GTA that I've never beaten because, and I'll get to why in a second. And that's Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories. And yeah, again, it's a good game. There's a good game here, but some of the missions similar to Liberty City Stories are just so unbalanced. Like the difficulty spikes on some of them are just ridiculous. And this one in particular had a mission called, I believe it was called Tune In, Turn Off, Bug Out, I believe the name of the mission was. And like the second half of that mission, you had to go from the police station to the pay and spray to get rid of your wanted level. Now, when I say that, it seems fairly simple, but because you have the entire fucking Vice City army after you, it's basically luck based if you get through it or not. And I've tried it 100 times and I haven't managed to do it. I keep getting killed every single fucking time. My vehicle blows up instantly, or I'll try and like run away and then I'll die. And it's just ugh. But it's still fun though. If anything, I'll just like drive around, listen to Holy Diver by Dio, but because that's always fun. And finally, for this part, we have another classic that many people should go out and play if they get the chance, and that's Psychonauts. Now I love anything made by Tim Schafer, so and Ron Gilbert, and this one is an absolute classic as well. Basically, you're this kid who sneaks into this psychic camp and sort of gets caught, and while you're waiting for your parents to pick you up, you train to become a psychonaut, and it's a really unique game, absolutely fantastic adventure game. Very, very levels, especially like the infamous Milkman level, which I to this day I absolutely love. And yeah, if you have not played this, definitely check it out. It's an absolute classic. Okay, and that's it for part 3, and stay tuned for part 4.